You're gonna do it, Erica?
Shut on now.
He's conducting.
First of all, we're to have a prayer.
Yeah, do you need a program? She can do it. Go ahead. So family prayer we already did. So
Maybe seated, thank you.
There now. I don't know what to say. I love you here. I appreciate you so much. This is so hard. Nina Reed offered our family prayer for us. And Pa always liked Marty Robbins, and his favorite song was My Woman, My Woman, My Wife. So we're going to play that song for Pa. I don't know where is it back there?
And the strong, but wrinkled, doing work that never gets done. Careless blossom of the beauty, not too many hours in the sun. Eyes that show some disappointment, and there's been quite a lot in her life. She's the foundation I lean on. My woman, my woman, my wife. Every day has been uphill. We climb, but we can't reach the top. I'm weak and I'm easily discouraged. She just smiles when I want to start. Lips that are weary but tender, with love that strengthens my life. I sing in the grass made of Enoch. My woman, my woman, my wife. Two little babies were born in spring, but died when the winter was new. I lost control of my mind and my soul, but my woman's faith carried us through. When she reaches that river, Lord, you know what she's worth. Give her that mansion up yonder, 'cause she's been through hell here on earth. Lord, give her my share of heaven. If I've earned
I can't say my nephew, but Terry and I, our nephew, Mark Barney, will give the invocation now. If he's here, there he is.
Our eternal Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day to meet together as family and friends to pay tribute to and celebrate the life of Terry Barney. Heavenly Father, we're grateful for our shared heritage and for those that have gone before us and laid the path for us. We ask that thy spirit and thy love will be with the family and with those that participate, that they will share their feelings and their thoughts freely, and that thy protection will be with us throughout this day. For these things we're grateful, and we ask in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
We're now asking Erica Barney, a granddaughter, to read Pa's obituary.
Terry Barney, born September 24th, 1940, to Lily Mae Mosman and Royal Barney in Escalante, Utah, was raised in Benjamin and Springville, Utah. He passed away peacefully into eternal rest on August 1st, 2025, at the age of 84, surrounded by his loving family after a courageous battle with Alzheimer's disease. He was joyfully welcomed on the other side by his beloved daughter, Lisa Marie Barney, 2024, his cherished grandson, Tony Craig Barney, 2010, his parents and 12 siblings who preceded him in death. Affectionately known as Pa and lovingly called Daddy by his youngest daughter, Julianne, Terry was a devoted family man whose greatest joy was found in nurturing lasting bonds with his 5 children and their spouses, 11 grandchildren, and 9 great-grandchildren. He departed this life with joyful anticipation of 2 more great-grandchildren soon to come. Terry's unconditional love shone brightly through his heartfelt stories, soulful songs, and infectious laughter. The bonds he built with each member of his family are treasured gifts that now form the heart of our family's heritage, carrying his spirit forward for generations to come. A man of integrity and dedication, Terry worked tirelessly to support his family and took great pride in everything he did. He was deeply admired by all who worked with him and loved by all who knew him. Terry was especially proud to share that he was a Springville Red Devil and played guard on the 1958 basketball team that won the state championship. It was a story he loved to tell and a memory he held with great pride his entire life. Though his physical presence will be missed beyond words, we find peace in knowing his soul is now free, reunited with those he loved, and resting in the radiant embrace of heaven. His spirit lives on in the laughter of children, in the music of his voice, and in the stillness of moments filled with love. Terry is survived by his loving wife of 63 years, Marilyn Snow Barney of Springville, Utah, along with his cherished grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Children Craig Barney and wife Doreen, and their children Tony Barney and Tanisha Arolano, expecting twin boys, of Henderson, Nevada. Bradley Barney and his wife Jeanette and their children and grandchildren. Erica Barney, daughter Brixton, Stephanie Faulkner, Jordan Wiggerman, children Riker, Addie, and Ollie. Haley McCandless, children Bray, Gabe, Deegan, and Kaya of Elk Ridge, Utah. Christine Barney and husband Delano Sturgeon, and son Nick Barney of Jean, Nevada. Julie Ann LaPointe and husband David LaPointe, and their children Emily, daughter Paisley Ann, Brittany, Tiffany, Ava of Brook, Connecticut, and William Gordine, fiance of Lisa. He is also survived by his sisters Nina Reed of Springville and Jean Brown Ron of Heber. May the memory of his love and legacy forever uplift and inspire us.
I was talking to Bonner Gillis before the program started, and he was talking about how lucky we all are that we grew up. What a wonderful place to grow up, and how much fun we had together, all of us. My granddaughter Stephanie Faulkner wants to say a few words.
I'm making Erica stand with me for support. We just wanted to take a moment to share a few of our favorite memories and just express how much Pa meant to us. Growing up, Erica and I would spend every summer in Henderson with Ma and Pa, some Christmases too. Those were some of the best times of our childhood. I remember our nightly walks around the neighborhood, playing Yahtzee and solitaire together. He had one of those handheld Yahtzee games. He must have gone through 100 of those things. Every evening, we'd help Ma pack his lunch for work, and we'd include a can of Vienna sausages. Those were his favorite. And every Christmas, we had a tradition of baking sugar cookies with Ma. Erica and I would decorate a few just for Pa. He was our cookie tester, and he always approved. When you're young, you think you have all the time in the world. Time feels endless, and you assumed your loved ones will always be there. So sometimes you let life get in the way. People, distractions, even just a 45-minute drive to Springville, that seemed too far. As you grow older, you realize what truly matters, and that's family. I'm so grateful I came to understand that over these past few years. It gave me the chance to make more memories with Pa, listening to his childhood stories about growing up on the farm in Benjamin, how he played basketball and was a Springville Red Devil, hearing him sing, even if it was always the same songs, and being his partner in hand and foot, even though Ma and Ari beat us every time. Pa was a hard worker, and he took great pride in the jobs he worked on, Mandalay Bay and the Hoover Dam, to name a few. He loved to tell us about them. These last few weeks with him were different. As his words began to fade, we'd just sit together, watching Ancient Aliens or listening to old country music. On my birthday, I woke up early to visit him. He wasn't speaking at that point, but somehow he gathered the strength to mouth the words, "Happy, happy birthday." That moment will stay with me forever. Pa was the sweetest man with the best hugs. If you were ever feeling down, all it took was a visit with him. He never missed a chance to tell you how good you looked. He had this way of making everyone feel special, and he loved his family more than anything in the world. We love you, Pa. You'll be deeply missed, but we'll carry you in our hearts always, and we'll take the best care of Ma.
Our oldest son, Craig, and his daughter, Tanisha, would like to say a few words now. They live in Las Vegas and Henderson, and they'd like to say a few words.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about my dad when in his younger years. That is the man that shaped my life. My dad was a very hard worker his whole life, had a great work ethic. He also believed in honesty and integrity. And I grew up hearing lots of different sayings like, you can sleep when you're dead,
outwork the person next to you and you'll always have a job. And he was always saying, if you miss work, you better be in the hospital, otherwise you're expected there. I know that he never missed a day of work from being sick, hungover from a night of drinking, or any other thing. And I'm proud to say that I've done that same thing, and it's all from what I learned from my dad. My dad also started letting me work for him when I was 11 years old, and every summer after that, so that by the time I was 16 years old, I was already a journeyman carpenter. He was a great teacher. Things that he believed in helped me become just like him in that regard. My dad taught me a strong work ethic and to enjoy what you're doing and try to be the best at it. I would like to think that me and my brother did those things and continue to do them. And that's all from growing up with my dad and hearing it daily and practicing it daily. Also, he believed that when you're a hard worker and you put the time in with the work, that's what buys you the good things in life and able to enjoy the living you're making with your family and things it allows you to do. Another thing that my dad constantly told me growing up was to look in the mirror, and if you like and trust the man looking back at you, then you know you're living your life right, because you can lie to other people, but you can't lie to yourself. I'll always remember that. Be true to yourself and like the person you are, as well as love the person you are. Because if you don't, you can't like or love anyone else in this life. He was a firm believer in that. My dad also introduced me to hunting, fishing, and camping at a very early age. I know from the time that I was probably 5 years old that I never missed a deer hunt. I remember going camping almost every weekend in the summer growing up. He also made sure of all of us kids always had a great Christmas. I know that my sisters and my brothers always felt like we got everything we wanted growing up. And another thing my dad told me is, since I was a young boy, is just watching all the old Westerns with John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, Charles Bronson, and all the Bonanza episodes, and did a lot of that. Also watched a lot of football games together over the years. My dad got me interested in football and pushed me to join my first Little League football team when I was young. Also took it upon himself to get one of the neighborhood kids, Rick Knight, to be my mentor and help make me enjoy sports that way. But my dad made sure with my cousin Richard to take me out riding the motorcycles, and eventually got me into racing with him. But things like that, my dad was always pushing, and I love him for it, because it helped open me up to doing a lot of things that maybe I wouldn't have done had he not pushed it and got other neighborhood kids involved with helping me out that way. And a lot of things I could say, it'd take all day, but I just know that me and my dad were best friends for many years, got to work together, and I'll cherish that the rest of my life. And now that he's passed on, just waiting for him to go find my son and have a couple of beers and some good bullshit stories. That's all. Thank you all for coming.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak this afternoon. If you don't know me or don't recognize me, maybe my name is Tanisha. I'm Craig's daughter. So I wrote down some thoughts I'd like to dedicate to my grandpa today. I'm going to read from my phone here, and hopefully nobody hears my heart thumping away. Like a lot of little kids, I grew up believing that my dad was a giant among men, and it wasn't until I got older that I understood that my dad had also been raised by a giant among men, and that the qualities that I've always been in awe of about my dad had first been taught to him by his own father, and in turn were things that were taught to my brother and me. There is a lot of honor, strength, and enduring power in that kind of legacy. That's really profoundly humbling to witness, and you see that more as you grow older in life. Some of the things I loved and admired about Pa included his grit and guts, which were always evident in how he carried himself and lived his life.
His unwavering example of being a hardworking and straight-shooting man is timeless and something that I deeply respect, especially in growing up, seeing how intensely that example influenced my own father. Another thing I grew up seeing in my dad that I know was consistently instilled in him by Pa was a strong sense of self. My dad knows exactly who he is, always has, and he grew into himself on the foundation of the wisdom and talks that he shared with Pa about what it means to be a man and how to look your own self in the eye each day. These lessons were echoed in how Tony and I were raised and have been a pillar in my own life and self. I'm fortunate to be rooted in such enduring and steadfast values. Pa was a person whose eyes truly twinkled when he laughed, a person with a visible glow when speaking about or enjoying his passions in life. He told you he loved you and meant it, and if he had pride in you, it was real. He loved music, the outdoors, his beverages of choice, his pets, bullshitting and time spent together, and his family most of all. I'm a very lucky girl to have gotten to love and be loved by such an incredible man in person. Too many people in life go without the type of unequaled light that Pa shone. My mom and I got to visit him recently. I was able to listen to him reference some of his classic stories, heard him sing, felt the familiar strength in his hands as they clasped mine. He expressed his love for his family and his loathing for deli sandwiches. Worsening dementia never touched his spirit. It didn't tarnish the core of who he was. He was there still. He was still Terry. And in his presence, you knew you were with a giant among men. Age or bodily shackles be damned. And that's how I'll always remember him. I see him heavily in my own dad, all the way down to their mannerisms and the way that they stand. My dad is a living reflection of my grandpa, and I've spoken so much about the parallels between them because it's one of those things that really does bring a lump to your throat and ripples in the deepest parts of you, because that's the whole point, right? The love and legacy of the people that shapes you is what marks your time here on this planet. And I hope that Pa knew just how much of himself and the learnings of his life have been cherished and retained by the generations after him. The biggest wish that I have for him is that he was able to feel a flood of peace and wholeness upon leaving his physical shell behind. I am not personally a religious person, but I do choose to believe in something more beyond this life. I believe that his spirit cannot be lost to me or to anyone that loves him, and the sense of comfort to be had is in the conviction that he is now in the care and reunion of many dear ones that passed on before him. As my dad said, for me especially, I like to imagine him having a round of beers with my late brother Tony. In closing, I just wanted to mention my dreams for my children. I'm currently 24 weeks along with fraternal twin boys, and unfortunately, I just couldn't beat the clock to see them together with Pa here on Earth. Somewhere on the other side of the curtain, may Pa wrap his arms around my unborn sons and bless them with the strength of his spirit before they join us earthside. And may I raise my boys with the grit, guts, honor, and values that have been exemplified in my own upbringing. And may I be a witness to another generation of souls that grow to be giants among men. Thank you.
Craig and Nisha want to have a song played, Monsters. I don't know this song, but they love it, and that's good enough for me.
Father, turn off all the lights. I'm ready to your arms and your right. I'm strong. Tell you good night, close the door. Show you I love you once more. Time is gone. I'm not the sun. to forget. No need to forget. I know your mistakes and know mine. While you're sleeping, I try to make you proud. So, Daddy, won't you just close your eyes? Don't be afraid. It's my turn to chase the monsters away. Oh, well, I'll read a story to you. Only difference is this one is true. Time has gone. Folded our clothes on the chair. I hope you sleep well, don't be scared. Time is gone, so here it is. I'm not your son, you're not my father. We're just two grown men saying goodbye. No need to forgive, no need to forget. I know your mistakes and you know mine. While you're sleeping, I'm trying to make you proud. So Daddy, I want to just close your eyes. Don't be afraid. It's my turn to chase the monsters away. Relax, yes, and breathe. Last word, you can feel my hand on your I will be the last one, so I'll leave the light on. Let there be no darkness in your heart. You're not your son, you're not my father. We're just two grown men saying goodbye. No need to forgive, no need to forget. I know your mistakes and you know mine. While you're sleeping, I try to make you proud. So Daddy, won't you just close your eyes? Don't be afraid. It's my turn. Don't you chase the monsters away.
Jeanette, would you come up here and offer your words of love for Paul?
Good afternoon, everybody. Get myself pulled up here. Get my glasses on so I can see. Thank you for being here today to celebrate and remember a truly special man, my father-in-law, whom I lovingly call Pa. And in his words, you sure do look good. It's hard to put into words what Pa meant to me. He wasn't just my husband's father. He became a father to me as well. In truth, he was more of a father to me than my own dad ever was. And for that, I am deeply grateful. I feel incredibly honored to have been loved by him and welcomed into his life, his family, and his heart. One of the things I love most about Pa is how fiercely he loved his family. That love was steady, deep, and unconditional. And he didn't just reserve that love for his children. He also extended it to me. He made me feel like I was his daughter, not just by name or title, but in the truest sense of the word. There are so many memories I'll carry with me. The many trips we took together, full of laughter, stories, and time well spent. The countless nights around the table playing cards, even if Pa was a sore loser. I loved every moment with him. I'll never forget his coffee, mostly cream with a splash of coffee. And how he'd say, with that spark in his eye, "Don't tell me what to do." Even though deep down we all knew he kind of needed to be told. And then there was that last thing he ever said to me. In the quiet of that moment, in a gentle whisper, he said, "I love you." I will never, ever forget that. Pa's legacy is one of strength, love, and resilience. He taught me the true meaning of unconditional love, not in just how he treated me, but in the way he raised his son, my husband. His love flows through him. And now, through our family, he showed me what it looks like to fight the good fight, to keep showing up with grace and grit, and to treasure what matters most, family. As a labor and delivery nurse of 20 years, I've spent years helping families welcome life into this world. And over time, I've come to see that birth and death are deeply connected. When a baby is born, there's this sacred stillness in the room, a sense that something greater than us is unfolding. The body works in rhythm, surrendering a force we can't quite explain. The same is true, I believe, at the end of life. In those final moments, something sacred happens. The body releases, the breath slows, and there's often a sense of peace, as if the soul is preparing to be born into another world. I believe we witnessed that kind of peace and surrender when Pa passed. Just like birth, it wasn't the end. It was a beautiful, sacred beginning. And just as we hold space for a newborn's first breath, we held space for Pa's, his final breath, with love, tenderness, and reverence. I'd like to share a poem. It's from an unknown author. As we look back over time, we find ourselves wondering, did we remember to thank you enough for all that you have done, for all the times by our sides, to help and support us, to celebrate our successes, to understand our problems, and accept our defeats? Or for teaching us by your example the value of hard work, good judgment, courage, and integrity. We wonder if we ever thanked you enough for the laughter. I added this part, the coffee and the card games. For the love that you gave so generously. If we have forgotten to show our gratitude enough for all the things you did, we're thanking you now. And we are hoping you knew all along how much you meant to us. Though we grieve Pa's passing, we do not grieve without hope. And it says in 2 Timothy 4:7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Pa finished his race with dignity, strength, and love. His spirit now rests in peace. And I believe deeply and truly that love like this doesn't disappear. It transforms. It continues to live in our hearts, in our memories, and in how we love one another. Rest gently, Pa. You are deeply, deeply loved, and you always will be. In closing, I would like to share with you some last thoughts. Namaste. I honor the place in you where the universe dwells, where stillness sings and spirit swells. I see the light that shines within, the sacred spark, your soul, your kin. No masks, no roles, no grand display, just soul to soul. I bow and say, Namaste. The light in me sees the light in you. In this sacred space, we are one. We are true.
Carrie and I like the song Bring Him Home. I know they play at a lot of services. I remember it at Mike and Jan's and lots of other, and I'd like to play that for Pa. Have it played for Pa.
You have always been. He is yours. He is way. Let him rest. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home. He's like the sunlight light at dawn. If God had granted she a son, his summers die one by one, melt through late light on and on. I am all will be gone. Bring him, bring him joy. He is young. He's only born. You can take, you can give. Let him be. Let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and supporting our family. I'm a big crybaby. I'm trying not to cry, but I want you all to know how much I love you. When we were growing up, Barbara and Leon, Mary Jane and Grant, a bunch of us kids like to double date. And I'd like to ask Leon Lee, my lifelong friend, to offer the benediction.
Our dear Father in heaven, we come before thee this day as Terry Barney's celebration of life. We're thankful this day for the remarks that have been given by his children and grandchildren. We're thankful for the music that was provided this day. We're thankful for the life of Terry and all that he was able to accomplish, that his posterity is shown in love this day. The closeness that they have as a family that has always been apparent to thee and thy son. We're grateful to be here as family and friends to celebrate his life. Father, we ask a blessing this day upon all those that have traveled long distances to be here at this service. And we ask that we may be able to travel safely now to his final resting place, and that those who have happened to travel back home can do so safely, that no harm or accident will befall them, that all may go well this day. And we're thankful for all who participated in this service this day. And we offer this prayer in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
We have the pallbearers meet us at the door over to my left. In the congregation, please stand.
If any of you would like to follow us over to the cemetery, we'll do a dedication of the grave there. And then after, there is a luncheon, if any of you are available, just over at Marilyn and Terry's house.
Hey,
over at the cemetery. But I'll see you over there.